Look at you, desperate to be seen, desperate to be recognized. You post, you shout, you wear bright colors and clamor for the center of the room, believing that attention equals power. You are a fool. You have confused the spotlight with the sun. One illuminates, but the other burns. In the grand architecture of human hierarchy, the visible are merely the livestock. The CEO shouting orders, the politician kissing babies, the influencer chasing algorithms. They are all prey. They are static targets, waiting for a sniper they will never see. You believe that to rule you must sit on the throne, wearing the crown, holding the scepter. This is the lie fed to the masses to keep them distracted. While you fight for the scraps of public validation, the true predators are moving in the silence between your heartbeats. True power is not a loud noise, it is a gas, odorless, colorless, deadly. By the time you realize you are choking, it is already too late. You want to be the king? Fine, be the king, and watch how quickly your head finds a basket. I am offering you something colder. I am offering you the role of the architect, the one who builds the maze, locks the door, and watches the rats run, all while standing comfortably in the dark. If you are ready to cease being a character in someone else's play and become the writer of the script, step into the abyss. We are discussing invisible influence. This is the art of decoupling authority from accountability. It is the ability to steer the ship without ever touching the wheel. The modern world is an obsession with personal branding and transparency. These are vulnerabilities. Information is leverage, and when you are transparent, you are handing your enemies the blueprint to your destruction. To practice the sovereignty of the shadow, you must kill your ego. The ego craves credit. The ego wants to say, "I did this." You must strangle that voice. The shadow sovereign cares only for the outcome, not the applause. You must become a ghost in the machine of your workplace, your social circle, your relationships. You are the wind that knocks the vase off the shelf, undeniable in effect, but impossible to handcuff. You will learn to position others as your shields. You will learn that the safest place in a war zone is not behind the line, but entirely off the map. You are not a participant. You are an environmental hazard. Before we descend, you must program your mind to reject the addiction of fame. Speak this into the dark, and let the dark speak it back to you. Drop this affirmation. I am the silence behind the noise. I hold the strings, not the sector. My influence is invisible. My control is absolute. The 7 laws of the shadow sovereign. Law 1. The Chameleon Effect. Aggressive camouflage. The trap. The human instinct is to assert identity. You want to show your personality, your quirks, your unique value. You enter a room and immediately try to differentiate yourself. This makes you a known quantity. It gives the predator your shape, your size, and your flavor. The dark truth: to be defined is to be confined. If I know who you are, I know what you want. If I know what you want, I own you. The shadow sovereign does not have a fixed identity. They have a library of masks. The strategy: you must master strategic camouflage. Do not be a rock, be a chameleon. You adapt your color to the environment you are infiltrating. If the room is aggressive, you become stoic. If the target is emotional, you become empathetic. You reflect their psyche back at them, not to be boring, but to be invisible to their threat detection system. When you strip away your own flavor, You become a perfect mirror. Because nature abhors a vacuum, they will fill that silence with their secrets. They will project their desires onto you. You become their confidant, not because they trust you, but because you feel like an extension of themselves. You are not a person to them. You are a safe harbor, and safe harbors are never suspected of plotting mutiny. The warning: do not confuse blending in with disappearing. You must remain present and competent, just devoid of distinct edges that can be used against you. Be essential but ungraspable. The vacuum of validation. The trap. You have been taught that to win people over, you must compliment them. You must be kind, generous, and effusive with praise. You think love buys loyalty. You are wrong. Love is fickle. Love is conditional. The dark truth: insecurity is the strongest bind in the human psyche. People do not work for those who praise them constantly. They work for those whose approval is scarce. If the sun shone 24 hours a day, we would curse it. We value the light only because we fear the dark. The Machiavelli Protocol. Machiavelli, the grandfather of the abyss, understood the mechanics of human emotion better than any modern psychologist. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than to be loved, if you cannot be both." The strategy: create a vacuum of validation. Do not offer praise freely. When a subordinate or a peer performs well, offer a nod, a silence, a fine. Make them starve for your enthusiasm. When you finally dole out a small crumb of validation, it will taste like a feast. They will become addicted to chasing that high. They will overwork, overcommit, and bend their morals just to see you smile. You are training them like a dog. If you feed the dog constantly, it gets fat and lazy. If you feed it only when it performs a trick, it becomes a weapon. The warning: if you are entirely cold, they will revolt. You must master the intermittent reinforcement schedule. The unpredictability of the reward is what breaks the spirit and builds the chain. Law 3. The Proxy King. The trap. Ambition usually looks like climbing the ladder. You want the title. You want the corner office. You want to be the face on the magazine cover. You want to be the one making the speech. The dark truth. The face on the magazine cover is the face on the dartboard. The king is the lightning rod for all dissatisfaction. When the stock drops, the king is fired. When the revolution comes, the king is beheaded. The advisor, the shadow, survives to serve the next regime. The strategy: find a proxy. Find someone charismatic, perhaps a bit narcissistic, who loves the sound of their own voice but lacks the intellect to execute complex strategy. You will build them a pedestal. You will hand them the script. You will make them feel like a god. You will do the work, and you will let them take the credit. It hurts the ego, yes, but it secures the sovereignty. You control the information that reaches the proxy. You frame the auctions so that their decision is actually your decision. They are the glove, you are the hand. When the plan succeeds, you are the indispensable genius in the shadows. When the plan fails, the proxy takes the fall. The warning: never let the proxy realize they are a puppet. They must believe they are the genius. Flatter their intelligence while you bypass it entirely. Law 4. The Weaponized Confession. The trap. You try to appear perfect. You hide all flaws, thinking invulnerability is strength. But perfection creates envy, and envy creates enemies. People subconsciously want to see the mighty fall. The dark truth. To influence someone deeply, you must lower their defenses. If you are too perfect, They keep their shield up. To slip the dagger in, you must first get them to open their coat. The Machiavelli Protocol. As the master noted, men are so simple and yield so readily to the desires of the moment that he who will deceive will always find another who will suffer himself to be deceived. The strategy: practice calculated vulnerability. Confess a minor, irrelevant sin. Admit to a weakness that is actually harmless. I'm terrible at public speaking, or I get so anxious before these meetings. When you expose a faux throat, the other person's predatory instinct relaxes. They feel superior. They feel safe. They will instinctively reciprocate by sharing a real weakness. They will tell you about their cheating spouse, their tax fraud, their hatred of the boss. You gave them a pebble, they gave you a diamond. You now hold leverage over them, and they think you are just bonding. The warning: never confess a weakness that impacts your competence or your leverage. Confess human flaws, not strategic ones. Law 5. The Whisper Network. The trap: confrontation. Arguing your point in the open. Engaging in debate. This is low IQ behavior. Direct conflict requires energy and identifies you as the opposition. The dark truths. An idea is a virus. If you inject it directly, the body rejects it. If you let it float in through the air, the body accepts it as its own. The most powerful changes in a hierarchy happen through rumors, not decrees. The strategy: do not fight your enemy. Plant the seeds of their destruction in the minds of the gossip mongers. Identify the nodes, the people in your network who cannot keep a secret. Feed them a secret concern. I'm worried about John's mental health. He seems erratic lately. Say it with concern, not malice. The node will spread this virus for you. By the time it reaches the decision makers, it will not be your opinion. It will be general consensus. You have assassinated a reputation without ever drawing a weapon. The target will flail against the rumors, which only makes them look more erratic, confirming the lie you planted. The warning: traceability is death. Ensure the rumor cannot be traced back to you. Always frame your planting of the seed as concern or seeking advice, never as a statement of fact. Law 6. The Poisoned Gift. The Deck Trap. The trap: transactional relationships. I do this for you, you do this for me. This is crude. It implies equality. You do not want equality. You want sovereignty. The dark truth: generosity is a form of aggression. When you give a gift that cannot be repaid, you create a psychological deficit in the recipient. The human mind is hardwired for reciprocity. Unpaid debt creates anxiety. The strategy: do favors that are not asked for. Solve problems before they become public. Cover up a mistake for a colleague. Give them a resource they desperately need but couldn't access. Do not ask for anything in return. Refuse repayment. Don't worry about it. We're on the same team. This refusal terrifies them. The debt hangs over their head like a guillotine. They will now act in your interest to alleviate their own anxiety. They will defend you in meetings. They will pass you information. They are not doing it for you. They are doing it to balance their own internal ledger. You own their guilt. The warning: do not call in the debt too early. Let the interest compound. A favor done today can be cashed in for a soul 10 years from now. Law 7. Asymmetric Retaliation. The trap? Revenge. You get angry, you lash out, you slash their tires or yell in the boardroom. This is the behavior of an animal. It feels good in the moment, but it costs you your position. The dark truth: if you strike a king, you must kill him. If you leave an enemy wounded, they will recover, and they will be smarter next time. Retaliation must be total, and it must be disguised as misfortune. The Machiavelli Protocol. This is the most critical lesson the architect has left us. People should either be caressed or crushed. If you do them minor damage, they will get their revenge. But if you cripple them, there is nothing they can do. The strategy: when an enemy must be removed, do not make it a battle, make it an accident. Manipulate the environment so that they fail by their own hand. Withhold a critical piece of information until the deadline, overloading them with work until they snap. Recommend them for a project you know is doomed to fail. When they collapse, be the first to offer them a hand up. Law 4. Looking like a saint while you watch the light fade from their eyes. They are crushed, you are clean. The warning: never gloat. The moment you smile at their demise is the moment you sign your own confession. Look sad, look disappointed, walk away. Conclusion: the architect's exit. You have now been given the keys to the invisible kingdom. You understand that the world you see is a facade, a stage play written for the amusement of the ignorant. The loud, the brash, the famous, they are merely the actors. You are the director. Embrace the shadows. While others fight for sunlight, you will expand your territory in the dark. You will be the friend to all and the master of all, and they will thank you as you tighten the noose. Do not seek to be the lion. The lion is hunted for its pelt. Be the bacteria, be the gravity, be the force that cannot be fought because it cannot be seen. Go now, build your proxy kings, dig your pits, silence your ego. The world is yours as long as you never ask for credit. Final affirmation: the throne is for the target, the shadow is for the sovereign. End of transmission.